Before we go, let me take you to Germany, where NATO is holding its largest military exercise in Europe since the Cold War. The exercise, called Steadfast Defender, will take place over the coming months at a crucial time for the military alliance. The DW Emily Schultes in Berlin has more on this. Let me begin. In Emily, what is involved in the military exercise and which countries are participating?
These military exercises really are taking place on a seemingly unprecedented scale in the modern era for NATO. You have approximately 90,000 troops and military personnel that will be taking part in this. You have people from all 31 countries involved in the military alliance, as well as Sweden, which is a candidate to join NATO and is expected to join the alliance most likely later this year. And the exercises are taking place over a number of months. So some of them have already gotten started, and it will continue through the spring. And this is really the biggest kind of similar exercise since the end of the Cold War. So it is very much a significant effort on behalf of NATO.
Let's look at the significance of this training exercise.
Well, this comes really at a moment of uncertainty and certainly a moment of pressure, increased pressure on NATO as a military alliance. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022, we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of that. You have seen new challenges for NATO. You've seen sort of the concern that Russian President Vladimir Putin might not be interested in stopping at NATO's eastern flank, and so you have countries like Poland, countries like some of the Baltic nations that are concerned about what kinds of actions Russia might attempt to take against them. And so this really is a moment where, when you have war on European soil again, there is a lot of attention being paid to what the role of this alliance should be, and making sure that the alliance is prepared for anything that might come from the Russian side. So you do also have, in addition to kind of this general attention being paid to that war and to what it means for the rest of the alliance, you've also seen Finland join, for example, Finland, which shares a border with Russia. And as I mentioned, Sweden is a candidate to join. And so these are sort of new moments and a new evolution for the military alliance.
So what challenges is NATO facing right now, and what has the reaction been from leaders in Germany and elsewhere?
Well, at the moment, one of the biggest challenges we've seen is comments from former President Donald Trump in the United States, who said a couple of things about NATO. He's been critical of the military alliance throughout his tenure in the White House and in the years since. But what he said this time was, first of all, that if countries involved in NATO are attacked who have not necessarily paid the requisite 2% of their GDP toward defense spending and towards NATO, that the United States might consider not necessarily honoring its commitment to defend those countries. And so this is something that builds on comments he has previously made. But the other thing that Trump said was essentially that Russia can and should do as it likes, which were comments that were met with quite a great deal of alarm here in Europe by many of the European leaders who see this military alliance as crucial to the continent's security. And so all of that has been met with quite a lot of outrage from European leaders, including here in Germany, and really does kind of put major questions on the table about what would happen to NATO if Trump were elected president in the United States again this November. So you have these military exercises taking place as NATO kind of faces some of these existential questions going forward.
Emily Schultes from our partner DW TV in Germany. Well, that's it for today's edition of The Pulse. We have a date tomorrow. My name is Elton Broby. For more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com. Business Live is up next on your television.